The sun, the creator of the universe, giver of light, heat, and life, and revered by everyone, is often called Old Man, and his favorite animal is the buffalo, because the buffalo is for the people. Now, there is another old man that bears the same name, but is very different in character. This old man is a mixture of wisdom and foolishness. He is malicious, selfish, childish, weak, and he delights in tormenting people. The things he does are so foolish that he is constantly getting himself into trouble, and is often obliged to ask the animals to help him out of his troubles. And his bad deeds almost always bring their own punishment. The stories about this old man are told more for entertainment rather than with any serious purpose, and when the storyteller gets to that part of the story where Old Man is in some dilemma he cannot get out of, the storyteller and the listeners of the story laugh with delight. Well, usually, this is one of those stories. One nice, warm day in the late fall, Old Man went out hunting and took Fox with him. They hunted for several days, but killed nothing. As they were going along, they became very hungry, so Old Man went up over a ridge, and on the other side he saw 4 big buffalo bulls lying down. But there was no way they could get near them. He dodged back out of sight and told Fox what he had seen. They thought for a long time to see if there was any way these buffalo bulls might be killed. At last, Old Man said to Fox, "My little brother, I can think of only one way to get these bulls. This is my plan. If you agree to it, I will pluck all the fur off you except one tuft on the end of your tail. Then you go over the hill and walk up and down in sight of the bulls, and you will seem so funny to them that they will laugh themselves to death." Fox did not like to do this, but he could think of nothing better, so he agreed to what Old Man proposed. Old Man plucked him perfectly bare, except the end of his tail, and Fox went over the ridge and walked up and down until he had come close to the bulls, where he played around, walking on his hind legs and going through all sorts of antics. When the bulls first saw him, they got up on their feet, looked at him, and they did not know what to make of him. Then they began to laugh. And the more they looked at him, the more they laughed, until at last, one by one, they fell down exhausted and died. Then Old Man came over the hill, went down to the bulls, and began to butcher them. By this time it had grown a little colder. "Ah, little brother," said Old Man to Fox, "you did splendidly. I do not wonder that the bulls laughed themselves to death. I nearly died myself as I watched you from the hill. You looked very funny." While he was saying this, he was working away, skinning off the hides and getting the meat ready to carry to camp, all the time talking to Fox, who stood about, his back humped and his teeth chattering with the cold. Now a wind sprang up from the north, and a few snowflakes were flying in the air. It was growing colder and colder. Old Man kept on talking, and every now and then he would say something to Fox, who was sitting behind him perfectly still with his jaws shoved out and his teeth shining. At last Old Man had the bulls all skinned and the meat cut up, and as he rose up he said, "It is getting pretty cold, isn't it? Well, we do not care for the cold. We have got all our winter's meat, and we will have nothing to do but feast and dance and sing until spring." Fox made no answer. Then Old Man got angry and shouted, "Why don't you answer me? Don't you hear me talking to you?" Fox said nothing. Then Old Man was mad, and he said, "Can't you speak?" And he stepped up to Fox and gave him a push with his foot. And Fox fell over. He was dead, frozen stiff with the cold.